Hey up, and welcome to Matt's Mindful Meals. It's a quick one tonight because we're just having a midweek camp because we're just starting the bank holiday. So me and Dave are going to get out on our new Pioneer 2 tents that we've picked up quite recently. I've never even put mine up yet. And I'm going to cook us really hot chicken curry. I'll give you the full name of it a little bit later. Anyway, it's time to walk off down to the salt marshes where we're going to be, which are just off the River Findhorn that you can see behind me. Anyway, I'll catch you a bit later. Ta-ra! Right then, so we finally got to where we're going. It's the salt marshes, so some areas are still quite wet, but this area we found quite dry, so we should be all right. So we've both got these two new Pioneer 2s. Dave's put his up once. I've never even taken this out of the bag yet. So we're going to step them up after 3. 1, 2, 3. So what I'm going to do now, give it a quick loop round my tent. So here we go, my Terra Nova Pioneer 2. Most expensive tent I've got, but I did get it in the sale. If you bought it on its own without the footprint, it was 550 quid. If you bought the footprint, that was 50 quid. So add that together, make £600. But the package is, if you buy the two together, you get them for about 400 quid. Now, I'm no maths genius, but I don't think that maths was right. But anyway, I'm not moaning. So, it's only got one porch, this tent. Now, the easiest way to show you where the porch is, on the top cover, you've got 2 blue tensioners and 2 red tensioners. But the red tensioner with this little clip on is the one that's at the porch. Anyway, time to show you inside. So the zip comes straight up. Now you've probably seen on the other videos, instead of having roll it up, you get hold of this little toggle. Job's a good one. Anyway, so in my tent, set it up already. So my rucksack's there, my water bottle, 2 pillows today because I'm feeling a bit, as I want a bit of comfort. My quilt, and then I've got the big daddy, the big massive 140mm Trekology mat, and then my little flex tail gear pump and light combo. The only thing with this tent that I'm not dead chuffed with is there's no hook in the top to hang a light off anyway. So I've got a carabiner and put that on there. But yeah, you've got another door there, so if you had somebody in with you, they could easily get in and out. But I think for me, it's a 1.5 person tent, and I think it's just perfect for somebody my size. Anyway, time to set the cooking stuff up over there and get this curry on the go. We're Jubilee Day today, so the Queen's been on the throne for 70 years. So it's a Platinum Jubilee, big celebrations in the UK, and we're having our party on Saturday night. So I thought we'd sneak off tonight and have a camp in the woods and try the new tents out that you've seen. But now I'm going to make a curry. Now tonight's curry, instead of chopping everything up while I'm here, I did it all earlier on to try and make it as easy as possible, but there are quite a lot of ingredients, so I'll talk through them as I go. So as we can see, got the firebox with the gas adapter for a Trangia in there, fits perfectly with the pegs. So one thing I prefer cooking a curry in is a wok. So get the wok on, turn the gas up a bit. It might be quite noisy. So to save a bit of time, the base of any good curry is by getting the onions fried off. So inside here I've got onions and oil. So let's get them going. Plenty of onions, not too much oil. Once they start getting some colour on them though, I'm going to add in the chicken thighs that have been marinating in tandoori paste that you've seen me use quite a few times. Makes the chicken take on all the flavour and it turns it a nice red colour. Cheers. So the next thing we're going to put in is some ginger that I've ground down on one of those microplanes, and also 7 cloves of garlic. Quite garlicky and pungent, this one. Whoops! Stir that through. The onions are starting to soften nicely. When they've got a little bit of colour on them, that's the time to add the chicken. Right, time for the chicken. Now, as I said, it's chicken, but I prefer using chicken thighs. I think there's a lot more flavour in them. So these have been marinating for hours and hours and hours. What time is it now? It's now 7:30 at night. So these have been marinating now for 24... God, my maths isn't that great. 28 hours. Anyway, time to get these in here. Now this will take the temperature of the pan down. So you need to stir it through. And remember, because it's chicken, make sure it's cooked. But however, we're going to be adding tomatoes, chilli, coconut, a little bit of yogurt to this. So we'll cook it through quite a while to cook all of that off. So it'll definitely be cooked. But another way to help yourself, especially when you're camping, is don't have the chunks too big. Just get one out now to show you. That's probably about as big as you want to get. About the size of a chicken nugget as the biggest, really, is what you want. Anyway, I'll let this to start getting hot again and continue my chat to Dave. Okay, so the chicken is now, I would say, 2/3 cooked. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add in this vindaloo paste. As it is tonight, The idea is to have a really hot curry. So, vindaloo paste. Now you put it in at this stage because it's got stuff in here that needs to be cooked through, some spices. So if you don't cook it through early in the process, it can taste as though it's unfinished when you come to eat the main thing. So I normally either put it in when I'm doing the onions or put it in at this stage before I put the tomatoes, and then let it all like bubble over for quite a while. So I'll get this paste through, but it's going to be a hot one tonight. So it's quite thick. So what you need to do is just keep stirring it through, because you don't want any parts of it containing more of the paste than any other, but eventually it'll just break itself down and spread itself all the way through. It's quite pungent, but later on in this we're going to be adding some more chilies. I'm not told Dave how many they are. I might ask him how many he wants to put in, and I'll give him a bit of a shock. But then we'll finish it off with NAGA pickle. Now if you go to an Indian restaurant in the UK and anything says NAGA, now NAGA I believe is ghost chili, but in India there's a pickle called NAGA, which I'll show you in a bit. Now the oil from that, a few drops of that onto any curry you makes it taste gorgeous in my opinion. Anyway, so that's all stirred through, so I'll just leave that now to heat through so that the chicken is completely cooked through, and then I'll add some of the other ingredients. Chicken's now fully cooked through, the paste's cooked off. Time to add the chilies. So they're all chopped up in quite big chunks. So how many chilies do you want me to put in? I've put a certain amount in here, and I know exactly how many chilies are in. How many do you reckon?
How many whole chilies?
Whole chilies, yeah. Seeds and all. 1.5. Yeah, that's all fine. We're all good. He wanted 1.5. It's not happening. We'll be warming us tents tonight. So yeah, pop them through. So far, most of the ingredients that have gone in have been sour ingredients. The ginger's a little bit sweet. So you'll be able to see in a second these chilies and how big I've chopped them while they're stirring through and cooking. Once they are cooked, I'm going to put some sweet desiccated coconut into this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've got some of this sweet desiccated coconut. It tastes like the inside of a Bounty. It's really nice. My friend Neil works offshore on the oil rigs, and the chefs that they have on the boats, on the oil rigs, use this in their food, and it's lovely. So sprinkle a fair bit of that in. Try that. If you like Bounties, you'll love that. It's lovely, isn't it? So stir that through. So this is going to give it a little bit of sweetness. So this, at the moment, would be very, very strongly flavoured. So what we need to do now is we need to add some tomatoes in it. Now, for those of you who've been with me since the beginning, tomatoes is... I did one meal, put a ton of tomatoes in, and lost my eyebrows on the front of me hat near enough. So fingers crossed that's not going to happen today. So these are just cheap tinned chopped tomatoes. And and that'll just bring it all down. So stir that through. Coconut in now. It's starting to cool down. Dave's just gone to go put his hat on. That's the last of the coconut gone in. A tiny bit of water. Not too much. Because the water I'm adding, I'm actually going to just evaporate off anyway. So that'll go quite runny. But what you'll do now is, I'll cook it till I get it to the consistency I want, and then I've got some natural yoghurt to add into it. But when I'm going to serve it up tonight, I'm going to serve it with a bit of the natural yoghurt at the side, some crispy fried onions, and some fresh coriander. Got a sprinkle or two of Mr. NAGA oil off the top of the pickle. So you've got the pickle, which is like a lime pickle, so it's big chunks of the chilli in there. But I think when you've made a curry like this, just a few drops of the oil from this, as you'll be able to see when I put it out later, just it's magic. Leave some of this for later. So this is the natural yogurt. Just makes it a little bit more creamy. So when this comes back to the boil again, it'll be time to dish up. So about half an hour. That's not bad for a really good curry. So, as you've just seen, it's bubbling away nicely. It's time to dish up. So, I'm going to dish it up, and any spare that's left, I've got one of my boil in the bag bags that they do have one of the press to seal things, but when I get home, I've got a little sealing tool that goes across and seals it, and I can put it in the freezer and then have it on a future camp. Anyway, I'll catch you in a minute when I've put all this out. Hey up. Well, tea's finished. I've ate all mine. Dave can't do the same because he's left the chilies in his pan. However, it's time for the thumbs up or thumbs down. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Even with 5 chilies.
There's about 4 of them in your pan. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think next time I'll probably do some rice with it as well to break it up a bit, because it's like just eating loads of curry and bread, which I normally like, but I think a little bit of rice would have rounded it off a bit more. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's full of flavour, really tasty. It's a little bit warm for my my taste buds.
A little bit hot, you mean?
A little bit hot, yeah.
Anyway, as you can see, what was left over is now in one of these bags, so I'll be able to take it on when I go out. Just use it as a boil in the bag. Anyway, so we're going to clean the camp down, and you may see her a bit later for a bit of the lights in the tent that I think everybody has to do nowadays. Anyway, if we don't come back, take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time. Ta! Right, as you can see, I'm all tucked up inside my tent and looking forward to a right good night's sleep. I'm on my nice comfy mattress, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. There isn't one of those night shots where the lights are on in the tent, because up here it's now gone 10:30 and it's still really light. Just about seeing the sun going down, so it's like the sky's going pink over by the river. So yeah, none of them nighttime shots. But anyway, if you've liked what you've seen tonight with the cooking, etc., give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing, and then every time I put a video out, you'll see it. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Ta-ra!